Amazing World of Gumball is a legendary cartoon about the absurd and hilarious events of the Watterson family in each episode. Gumball is not an ordinary cartoon. The fact that its episodes make references to popular culture and have a very good humor places it among the best cartoons. Although each episode features different characters and events, there's also a dark truth to this cartoon. There are adult scenes or aspects that are not suitable for children, such as the scary clown, and that's the subject of today's video, Dark Truth of Gumball. Let's start with the pilot, the episode where he first appears. Here you can see that Gumball and Darwin have different looks. The other characters also have a different and darker drawing style. Gumball was originally going to debut with this style, but Cartoon Network said it was too dark and not suitable for children. Since the different drawing styles of the characters were also scary, this style was changed and the series started airing on Cartoon Network. However, some scary scenes were aired on Cartoon Network, such as Alan's eggplant scene.
Cornerstone of a healthy diet, 5 a day! Delicious.
There's also an interesting scene where Gumball is in the tent with the hot dog. In this scene, Hot Dog's arm is on top of Gumball, and Gumball can't sleep in the tent. He's very uncomfortable with this situation and makes an effort to get Hot Dog to put his arm back, but this effort becomes increasingly awkward. But wait, these are just some of the things that happen inside Gumball. There's also the scene where Gumball sits on the photocopier. Who knows what Darwin saw at that moment? Also, Alan, the balloon, and Gumball are locked in the bathroom having a conversation. Alan is deflated and asks Gumball for help. However, at the end of the scene, Alan is quite happy, while Gumball comes out of the bathroom in shock. Then Gumball suddenly enters Banana Joe's room, where we see Banana Joe secretly watching a video of a tangerine opening. Gumball closes the door with a puzzled expression and leaves. Actually, I don't think I need to explain what the tangerine looks like because he's looking at a banana and a tangerine. Anyway, later on, when the character Tobias goes to the school restroom, he opens a bathroom door and finds Gumball. Gumball invites Tobias to join him with a suggestive look. Tobias looks at him as if to say, "What the hell?" and runs away. The inappropriate scenes in Gumball don't end there. In one scene, Mr. Small offers Gumball and Darwin chamomile tea and they drink it. However, after drinking it, he gets high and doesn't react to anything. Gumball and Darwin are surprised by this. You can see that this is not actually chamomile tea. It's softened and definitely got intoxicants in it. I mean, who drinks chamomile tea and gets high, right? But the appearance of intoxicants in Gumball didn't stop there. In episode 28 of season 3, Gumball and Darwin get high after eating what they think is cereal and see different figures and images. In the end, Gumball wakes up in the park, passed out and dressed in a princess dress. We didn't understand the underlying message as children, but I'll skip all that for now and tell you the real story of Gumball. Gumball shows us that it's not just a children's cartoon, not only in its absurd and funny aspects, but also in its scary aspects. For example, this scene.
Remember kids, please take care, 'cause danger's lurking.
It looks like it was taken from a children's horror game, but it doesn't stop there. There's also a mysterious clown character in this series. In almost every episode, you can see this clown at different points on the screen. There's a character you never notice. It's almost designed so that you don't see that he's there. He distracts you, manipulates you, and pulls you in different directions. Especially now, while I am distracted you with my words, he is watching you. Isn't that a bit reactionary? Let's take the scenes that you thought were just playing randomly in the background. In every one of those scenes, there was a clown lurking in the background. And not only that, you can see him in many parts of the series. In the parking lot by the column, he's watching you. In the parking lot, in his car, he's watching you. At the end of the school hallway, he's watching you. In the school cafeteria, he's watching you. At the entrance of the school, he's watching you. Through the paintings, he's watching you. In your rearview mirror, you never feel safe. It spies on you where you live, even inside your home. It watches you in a grocery store, right in front of your house, even in the cemetery. So who is this clown? What is his purpose? Why is he always watching Gumball and Darwin? To understand better, we need to analyze a few episodes. He first appears in season 3 in the episode Procrastinators. This clown was sent by Gumball's mom and wants them to take out the trash. There's also another version of this scene that was taken off the air. In this version, the clown acts normal, but has a very creepy voice and a creepy look. Another episode is The Saint, the 29th episode of season 3. This episode starts with Alan taking the blame for Gumball's missteps. Things then take a much more terrifying turn for Gumball and Darwin. It goes as far as playing a tape of Alan's family being tortured. In this tape, they're tortured by a clown and made into different shapes for little children. At this point, we only hear the screams of the balloons.
Please, I have
point, the clown starts to cross more and more boundaries. But does everything become clearer, or does it get more complicated? In the spin-off Gumball Chronicles, the clown's story gets deeper. They find a tape on the floor. It says this tape will be the last thing you play. However, our characters mistake this tape for a yo-yo and start to play it by knocking it on the ground. But this tape is actually a bait. The one who left the tape is being imprisoned in the well. Our characters can't take it anymore and come out of the well. This being is similar to Samara from the movie The Ring. She is trapped in the well, but is trying to free her soul by manipulating people. They sit with Samara and watch the tape, and we see every single moment where the clown is there. Then it turns out that Samara is actually the clown, and the clown is a mask. And the person wearing the mask is Tobias. So we hear the story of Tobias scaring people for social media content throughout the series. But isn't that a little weird? It's like something's missing. If Tobias is Tobias the clown who moves in the background in many scenes cannot be in front of our eyes. How can Tobias be this clown? This is where it gets really confusing. Neither in the main series nor in the spin-off series is it clear who the clown is. However, if we examine the purpose of this clown, we can reach some theories. According to some, this clown is trying to kidnap Gumball and Darwin. But what's even more interesting is that this clown knows about the fourth wall barrier, so he is aware of us. He knows he's in the animation, and so we, the viewers, keep an eye on Gumball and Darwin so he can't kidnap them. The clown is in many scenes of chaos. Perhaps he symbolizes the chaos in the universe. But in any case, there's no clear connection between this clown and Gumball's mother or who he is. He is a mystical being and part of the universe. There's also a rumor that there's a lost episode of Gumball called Grieving. It is claimed that there are a lot of bloody and suicidal scenes in this episode. However, when you do a little research, you can easily realize that this episode is fake. The producers of Gumball even released an episode where they made fun of this rumor. So the missing episode that we believed in as kids was actually fake. But now things are getting a bit serious, because an episode of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared was made, which is not suitable for children, or a puppet show. For those who don't know, Don't Hug Me I'm Scared contains a lot of blood, suicide, and scenes that are not suitable for children. In the 5th season of Gumball, in an episode called The Puppets, Gumball and Darwin go to the puppet world and find that the characters there are exactly the same as those in Don't Hug Me I'm Scared. In fact, the events of the first episode of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared are nearly the same. Things get scarier and scarier. They capture Darwin and are preparing to torture him when Gumball comes in and saves Darwin. It's really curious how Cartoon Network authorized this episode, because it's an adaptation of a cartoon series that is not suitable for children at all. Now, let's move on to the story of Gumball, or rather the story of the Void. Even though our story revolves around Gumball, Gumball is not just a main character, he can control everyone in Elmore. Yes, that's right, he can control everyone in the Gumball cartoon. For example, in Season 4, Episode 4, Gumball realizes that there are other characters in the school, and he wants to stop a girl named Claire from leaving Elmore. Gumball goes crazy in this episode. At the end of the episode, he convinces Tina, with whom he had a fight, and overturns the bus without following the rules of the city. Suddenly, all the people gather there and start celebrating like crazy. With this event, we realize that Gumball can control anyone he wants. But it doesn't stop there. If you've noticed, in every episode, the Watterson family destroys something and blows up the city, and then in the next episode, they go on with their lives as if nothing happened and no one holds them to account. The Watterson family is at the top of Elmore, and everything revolves around them. Of course, since the cartoon is called Gumball, this is their show. Moreover, Gumball knows that he's on a television show. He even says so directly in many episodes.
Century, everyone's spying on everyone. There's probably someone watching us right now. Huh? What?
Now I have to tell you the story of Rob, because he's an important character and the only one who realizes that Elmore is going to be destroyed. In the early seasons of Gumball, Rob was just a side character, and often Gumball and Darwin had a hard time remembering his name.
Hey! Rich? Did you just call me Rich like it was a question?
But then, because most people ignored and forgot about him, he's thrown into a void called the Void, where the Gumball universe is sent to the place of the forgotten. There, he's left to slowly fade away. In one episode, Gumball, Darwin, and Mr. Small explore the Void and search for Molly, another forgotten character. But then Rob asks them for help, but Gumball and Darwin don't see him. They take Molly and leave, but Rob manages to escape at the last moment by clinging to the back of the van. However, this escape comes at a heavy price. Rob is completely broken and becomes a glitch. After this time, Rob becomes Gumball and Darwin's archenemy, and tries unsuccessfully to do them harm in many episodes, but fails. Another important character is Barbara. She's Banana Joe's mother and is introduced as a somewhat naive character. However, her naivete doesn't change anything important, because she draws clairvoyant pictures, and these pictures determine Elmore's fate. In fact, one of her paintings still hasn't come true even after Gumball's finale. Later, Rob kidnaps Barbara and asks her to draw the future. Barbara keeps drawing the void, that is, that the future is nothingness. Here she says the future is just a void. Later, Gumball and Darwin rescue Barbara and erase Bob, but in the final episode of Gumball, Rob returns in human form and warns them of what is to come. But then he's beaten and knocked unconscious by Tina. At night in Elmore, Rob wakes up and says that the void is coming. The void starts inside the school and slowly begins to destroy Elmore. Meanwhile, Rob falls into the void, ending his story here. These events emphasize that Rob is the only character who's aware of what is happening in Elmore, and that the void is a danger that is inevitably approaching. Everyone finds Gumball's finale meaningless and incomplete, and I think that's partly true, but behind that lies a more terrible truth. You might think that there are a lot of people in Elmore, but there aren't. There are characters who look very much like people, like Claire or the president of Elmore, but they are not real people. In the episode The Sweaters, we see characters from another school who look very much like people, but they only appeared in one episode. However, there are real people in the Gumball universe, people like the newscaster or Bob's producer, for example. So if you're wondering why there are no humans in Elmore, the answer is simple. They were all transformed from humans into cartoon characters for the cartoon The Amazing World of Gumball. You may remember the announcer I mentioned earlier, who after a few seasons is no longer human, but a puppet. Or, you know, the character Sussy, who was created from a human jaw. In the episode Dreams, we see Sussy transformed into a human and she runs away scared. All the other Elmore inhabitants used to be human, but were turned into characters for the cartoon. Proof of this is in the final episode when Rob tries to turn the students at Elmore into human bodies. He even almost succeeded, but was stopped by Gumball and Darwin. Because the Gumball cartoon was ending, the void was starting to spread, and Rob was aware of it. So he was trying to transform them back into their human form and get them out of this cartoon world, but he failed. And so I've told you the horrible truth and the story of Gumball. And in the next Gumball movie, we're going to see the Watterson family escape into the void. I'll probably do a video about that when the movie comes out. I hope you liked my video. If this video gets 5,000 likes, we will continue to tell the scary truths of cartoons like this. See you in the next video. Bye!